Welcome to Center Stage. My name is Mark Gordon. On this program, we're going to look at the film Confessions of an Eco-Terrorist with filmmaker Peter Jay Brown. It boldly exposes the truth, humor, and despair behind activism at sea. How did it start out for you? How did, not just this film, but what's the genesis of your career, and what led you originally to this, to going out and working with Paul Watson?
Well, I'm a television director, and I got hired in 1981 to do a film on Paul Watson for NBC. And Paul Watson was one of the founders of Greenpeace at the time, and he had gone and had a confrontation with the Russians over whaling. And he was back in L.A., and I was just hired as a blue-collar guy to go down there and take his picture and do a story on him, which I did. 30 years ago when I first started doing this, no one even cared about being green. No one really cared much about, other than some whales maybe. They didn't care about their environment. They didn't care about the air. 30 years ago, you could hardly breathe the air in Pasadena. So America and the world in general were just becoming aware of the green movement. And by having symbols like Paul Watson and Bob Hunter, both gentlemen in my film, they became symbols of a movement, and I think that, we've kind of won the revolution. Now today, even corporations want to be green. So a lot's changed, and I was lucky enough, because of the guys I hung around with, to be involved in some big issues. Most of the environmental films that I see are hard to watch, and the reason being, in my opinion, is most of them come from anger. Even though I've been doing this 30 years, I still don't come from anger. I want to teach that sealer or whaler not to seal or whale, but I'm not going to hate them after it's over. I'm just going to stop them from doing it at the moment. And most of the people, when you get really into it, you end up really hating these people. How can they do it? Well, to me, they're just people, and they have reasons for doing things just like we have reasons for doing things. When I was at the Seal Hunters and I had to eat seal to prove to them I wasn't an environmental wacko who was going to go film them killing seals, which I was, they brought me to this big dinner and they were going to feed me seal to see if I'd eat it. Well, of course I'd eat it. I'm not going to get beat up. But around the table, I do indigenous people for a living, doing films on them. And around the table, I said, hey, seal's no big deal. I've eaten elephant. Well, you could have heard a pin drop. Those people were horrified. And here are these brutal sealers who the world hates because they're beating up seals, who were horrified because I had eaten elephant. So it's just their perception. You have to change people's perceptions. And I think people are ready a little bit now. It's hard to change it with anger, because if I come up against you and I'm going to beat your butt, then you're going to defend yourself. But if I come up to you, it's hard to hit me. I smile a lot.
Tell me about some of the challenges and dangers you put yourself into.
Well, everyone talks about the danger, but the minute you step on any of those ships and went out of the harbor, you put your life in danger. The times that when people think are the most dangerous, when you're ramming a ship or doing something like that, you are actually on high alert. So it is probably the least dangerous time. The most dangerous time is that some stupid 18-year-old who's supposed to be on watch fall asleep and run into an iceberg.
Just a reminder, you can listen to Center Stage Live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on KXLU Los Angeles, 88.9 FM. Also streaming on the net at kxlu.com. Until next time, this is Mark Gordon, and I'll see you center stage.